Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, thanks for joining me. My name is Chris and I like to talk about perfumes. Today it's February 13th and it is 7 degrees outside, and the month of February makes me think of roses. So I have a lot of rose fragrances. I actually like rose as a note, so I thought I would divide my series into two parts. Fragrances that are more affordable, or fragrances under $100, and fragrances that are more high-end, over $100. Today it's all about the affordable fragrances, so I think I have 9 fragrances to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first fragrance on my list is a fragrance that I've actually had the longest in my collection, and I got it when it first came out, and I want to say it was the early 2000s, 2003, 2004. And I just wore this all the time, day, night, every day. This was basically my signature scent. And I finished the bottle and then I was ready to move on. And then it was maybe spring of last year, summer of last year, I really missed it, and I bought another bottle. And that is Stella by Stella McCartney. This is just a beautiful rose fragrance. It has rose, it has peony, I think there's a note of mandarin orange, some amber notes, woody notes. To me, this is just so beautiful, so light. This is kind of my casual work fragrance, out and about fragrance. I just love it. It's office appropriate because, it's really sits kind of close to the skin, and that was my main problem with the first bottle that I bought. But that's okay. I still adore it. I keep coming back to it. It's a beautiful tea-like rose scent, and I love it. And it's, I think, around $50 or $60. It's a great one. The next fragrance on my list is probably the best bang for the buck as far as my rose fragrances go, and that is by Ricci, and that is called Rose Extase. This is just a beautiful, sweet, slightly fruity rose fragrance. I think it has some raspberry in it. It has vanilla in it. It is just a beautiful, soft, everyday rose fragrance. I think I picked this up around $30, $35. The perfumer is Francis Curtijon. He's very well known, so he makes really good fragrances. It has a little bit hard time performing in the winter. I don't really think it shines during this time of the year, but this is a great spring and summer rose fragrance that I absolutely love, and I'm glad it's in my collection. That's Rose Extase. The next fragrance on my list is a flanker of the La Petite Robe Noire series, and that is Black Perfecto, the Eau de Toilette version. I like this version better than the Black Perfecto, which is the Eau de Parfum. It's a little bit lighter and it's a little bit less heavy on the licorice. So the notes in this are leather, there's licorice, there's a sour cherry note, there's almond, and of course there's rose. And this is one of the deeper, more alluring rose scents that I have. Did a little bit better in the cold weather this week. It's very affordable. I think this little guy cost me $19 or $20 on Fragrance Net. It's a great rose fragrance for the price, and if you like those heavier rose fragrances with a little bit of a leather note and a little bit of a licorice note, I think you'd really enjoy this. It's really good. The next fragrance on my list is a fragrance that is for the vanilla lovers out there, vanilla lovers that are afraid of rose. And I think this is a great fragrance for someone who doesn't particularly like rose but likes vanilla. And that is the La Nuit Tresor à la Folie, and this is by Lancôme. First of all, I love the bottle. I mean, come on, this bottle is beautiful. This fragrance to me smells like a cupcake. This has notes of pear, it has red currant, there is rose, there's a heavy dose of vanilla in here. Yeah, this is all about the vanilla, but this is a beautiful vanilla heavy, warm, comforting fragrance that has a little splash of rose. So even if you don't like rose, This is a great fragrance as long as you like vanilla, and this was well under $100, but it's gorgeous, and I love looking at it on my dresser. It's beautiful. So it's a good one for the winter months as well. It holds up well in the cold. The next fragrance on the list is a fragrance from the house of Narciso Rodriguez, and that is called Fleur Musc for her. And just by looking at the bottle, I think you have a pretty good idea of what this is going to smell like, and it's going to smell like pink flowers. This has rose, this has peony, I think it has pink pepper, and of course it has the signature Narciso Rodriguez. To me, this is just a really light and clean rose fragrance. It is, in my opinion, better for the spring and summer months. And some of Narciso Rodriguez's fragrances, the musk can be a little bit too heavy, and for me it's just perfect in this one. And it's a great one, and I'm going to wear it a lot in spring and summer this year. And I think this probably is well under $60, but a very affordable rose fragrance. The next fragrance on the list is a fragrance I'm in love with, not only the bottle, but of course the fragrance, and that is Oscar de la Renta Bella Rosa. So this fragrance has notes of orange, it has rose, it has pink pepper, it's very sweet. I think it has amber and sandalwood in it. I love this. I think I spent $50 or less on this fragrance. I actually own Delina as well, and Delina is a beautiful fragrance, don't get me wrong. But that sharp, somewhat bitter opening, that rhubarb or the lychee, is a little sour on my skin, and this one does not have that. I personally don't think they smell a whole lot alike. I can see why people think that there are similarities, but this is a beautiful rose, a creamy, sweet rose fragrance. The only negative is that it just doesn't last, so I do have to overspray it, and it doesn't perform great in the wintertime. It's just not strong enough, but it's a beautiful fragrance. I'll wear it a lot in spring and summer, and I do enjoy it, and I love this fragrance. It's beautiful, and come on, I mean, look at the bottle. Look at the bottle. It's beautiful. The next fragrance on the list is a fragrance that I absolutely love. It's just a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, and I can't believe you can get it for around $50 to $60, and that is by Nina Ricci, and that is Extase Rose Absolute. Francis Curtijon is the perfumer of this one. I had this first, and then I got a travel spray of Oud Satin Mood, and I tell you what, they are very, very similar, but I actually like this one better because it has a little bit less oud. Oud can be a little tough for me. Oud Satin Mood is a beautiful fragrance, but this one I prefer a little bit more. When I smell this, I think of a dark, jammy, velvety rose. If I had to pick a color for this rose, it would be dark, dark, dark red or maroon. That's just what this fragrance smells like. And the funny thing is that the main rose in this fragrance is the Taif rose, which is actually the exact opposite. It's very pink, it's very bright, and it's a very lively looking rose. This is just a beautiful, beautiful rose scent. I absolutely adore it. It is getting a little bit harder to find, but it pops up here now and then, and I wear this year round. It's just a gorgeous rose scent that I love, love, love. The next fragrance on my list is one of the prettiest bottles that I own, and it is a very heavy, very rose dominant scent, and I was lucky enough to pick it up at the end of last year. I think it was in October for less than $100, and that is called Love by Chopard. You can tell when you look at this bottle that it was designed by, or it was made by a jewelry designer. There is so much attention to detail. If you look at the lid is a flower composed of hearts, And this bottle weighs about 5 pounds. It's just stunning. And then it has this beautiful gold plaque detail. And if you look at the bottom, you can tell that it is designed after the Asher cut gemstone. Just beautiful. I mean, so much attention to detail. This is a really strong rose, and I think that this is composed of 5 or 6 different types of rose. This is one of the strongest roses in my collection, and this is what I call my power suit rose. This is, if I wanted to wear a rose fragrance and I wanted to wear a power suit, this is the one I would choose. It is so strong. It is just strong and bold, and you can smell pink pepper. It's heavy on the patchouli. It smells very woody. It heads into the oudy zone, but it's not an oudy rose. It's absolutely stunning. The smell, the scent, and the bottle, it's gorgeous, and I love having this one. And that is Love by Chopard. The last fragrance on my list is a fragrance that comes in right at $100 for a 1.7 ounce bottle. And that is called Rosefire by the house of Hermetica. Now this particular house was created by the people behind Mimo Paris. And these fragrances are very unique. They are cruelty-free, they are alcohol-free, and they're refillable, and they have an interesting molecular structure so that the top and the middle notes come out at the same time. The oils in this are very moisturizing, so you can rub your hands together and it won't ruin the fragrance. In fact, it smells really good and your hands will get nice and moisturized at the same time. This is a very sweet, almost a candy rose. That's what I get out of it. A sweet, clean, crisp candied rose. And I think this has a little bit of violet in it. And it did well this week when it was really, really cold. But I think I'm probably going to wear it more during the spring and summer months. But it was a great addition to my collection, and I'm really happy that I have it. So that's Rosefire by Hermetica. So that's it. That does it for my favorite rose fragrances that come in under $100. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you for the next one.